1 in 3 men over 65 have this happen. The second they stand up, feet hit the floor. Here's what nobody tells you. Blood pressure hasn't caught up yet. Stay 2 minutes, or find out the hard way. I'm Atlas Reed. Subscribe, you belong here. Point 1. Most men don't think about this until after it's already happened once. Research shows that nearly a third of older adults experience a measurable drop in blood pressure the instant they stand. The single most dangerous 60 seconds of an ordinary day. Here's the part almost nobody talks about. Somewhere between 20 and 30% of adults over 65 deal with a real drop in blood pressure the moment they stand up, most often right after waking. Think of it like a garden hose that's been kinked all night. The second you unkink it, the pressure needs a beat to catch up before the flow evens out. Your blood vessels do something similar after 8 hours lying flat, and that beat, that half-second lag, is exactly the window when a lot of men go down. Not because their legs failed them, because nobody ever told them the first 60 seconds of the day are its own separate risk, with its own separate fix. So if the real danger in the morning isn't just weak legs, what's actually failing by the time you're standing at the sink brushing your teeth? Point 2. Your legs lose real strength before you'd ever notice it looking in a mirror. Somewhere around 3 to 8% of muscle mass disappears per decade after you hit your peak, and that rate speeds up again once you're past 60, quietly enough that most men blame a bad night's sleep instead of the actual cause. That's not something to panic about. It's something to actually train on your own timeline, instead of finding out about it the way my father did. Nobody feels this happen. There's no morning you wake up and notice it's gone. It shows up months later in a doorway you used to walk through without touching the frame, or a curb you used to step off without looking down first. That's the part most men miss. Not that the strength disappears, but that it disappears quietly enough to blame on something else entirely. Which is exactly why waiting for a wake-up call is the wrong plan. The wake-up call is what happened to my father. Point 3. But strength alone was never the whole story, and this is the part most morning routines skip entirely. Balance doesn't fail all at once. It fails one system at a time, quietly. Your eyes, your inner ear, and the nerve endings in your legs and feet that tell your brain exactly where the ground is, until one ordinary morning asks for more coordination between those 3 systems than what's actually left running. A generic leg workout builds the muscle. It does almost nothing for the other 2 systems quietly checking out in the background, which is exactly why some men who look strong on paper are the ones who go down first. It's not a contradiction. It's just 3 separate systems, aging on 3 separate timelines, and almost nobody ever checks more than one of them. That's the real gap. Training your legs without training how they communicate with your balance system is like tuning an engine perfectly and never once checking the steering. So what actually closes that gap in 2 minutes, starting tomorrow morning? Programs built specifically around structured balance retraining, not generic strength work, have shown fall reductions between 23 and 40% in trials that followed real adults through real falls and real outcomes over time. The best documented version of this training uses 17 total movements, 5 strength and 12 balance, sequenced in a deliberate, specific order rather than thrown together randomly. A 2-minute morning routine built on that same logic isn't a shortcut around that system. It's the entry point into it, which is exactly the structured sequence progression from a 2-minute daily routine all the way through to full balance retraining that's still standing after 60. The complete independent system walks through, start to finish. It's linked in the description below. If you're watching this on your TV right now, scan the QR code on screen. Point 4. Here's what most morning routine videos get backwards. They hand you a list of exercises and never explain the order those exercises need to happen in. There's a reason sequence matters more than reps here. A reason a rushed version of this routine done out of order can leave the exact system that mattered most for you completely untrained, while it still feels like you did the work. That part, which system to train first and why the order changes the outcome entirely, is where most free routines online stop short, right at the point it actually matters. 2 men can do the same 2 minutes tomorrow morning and get 2 completely different results, and the reps have almost nothing to do with why. Let's find out where you actually stand right now before you keep watching anything else today. If you're sitting down, stay exactly where you are. Time yourself. How many times can you stand up fully and sit back down again in 30 seconds? No hands on the armrests? Men in their 60s to mid-70s typically land somewhere between 12 and 19. If you're already on your feet, try this instead. Lift one foot off the ground and see how long you can hold it before you touch back down. 10 seconds is the number tied to a meaningfully lower fall risk in the research. Don't round up in your head. Whatever number you actually got just now, that's real information specific to you, not a guess and not a generic benchmark. Point 5. That number isn't a grade, and it isn't something to feel bad about either way. It's a starting point, and it's exactly what those 17 sequenced movements are built to move in the right order from your specific starting line rather than someone else's. Here's what surprises most men who try this. It was never a competition with the guy next to him. Balance training was never about hitting one universal target shared by every man over 60. It's about knowing precisely which of the 3 systems is quietly behind for you and training that one first instead of guessing and hoping the rest catches up. That's the actual difference between 2 minutes that build something real and 2 minutes that just feel like exercise. Do this for the mornings you want to stop thinking twice about, the ones where standing up is just standing up again, not a small, quiet negotiation with your own legs every single day. You're not just doing 2 minutes of leg exercises, you're closing the exact gap that put my father on a bathroom floor that wasn't his. The gap between being strong and being steady, which turns out to be 2 entirely different conversations your body is having at the same time. A man who understands that difference isn't managing decline from a defensive position. He's already ahead of it on his own terms. That 2-minute window each morning is the real reason this matters. Not the size of the workout, but training the exact moment most men are least prepared, right before it decides something for you. It's not a big ask. It's 2 minutes, done deliberately, at the one moment in your day when deliberate is the whole point. Still standing after 60. The complete independent system builds that same 2 minutes into the full sequenced path. 17 movements, the right order, and the tests that show you which system to train first. It's linked in the description below. Scan the QR code if you're watching on your TV. Last mention. The research doesn't wait for a fall to become relevant. The only real cost of waiting is doing today's rushed version instead of the one built for exactly where you're starting from. If this is the kind of training intelligence you want every week, subscribe. We put out videos weekly and every one is built for men serious about staying independent. I'm Atlas Reed. Keep doing the work.